Got Mike Bailey here, coach of the Bethel Bruins. Coach, tough game coming in here. Anytime you play a Hampton school is tough.
Most definitely, and at this time of year, both teams to get here have to be good. So that's what I expect. An excellent ball game tonight. Part of the March Madness we're about ready to get ready for.
Well, I've always looked forward for the March Madness because that's what I live for. Playing a team 3 times, tough.
We're here the 5th time. We like that. So
Okay.
playing a team 3 times, you know each other a little bit. That's why I say it's going to be a good ball game. The kids are going to really be up for on both squads for this ball game.
Good enough. Well, good luck to you tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Mike.
Join the great American food fight against cancer. For more information, talk with your American Cancer Society volunteer.
Coach, big game tonight. The winner of this one's going to play at least 2 more times.
They don't get no bigger than this. I tell you, you win this one, you're automatically in the regionals. That's what you play all year for.
You got to get to the region to advance. One thing, playing a team 3 times. Now, Bethel has beat you twice, but you're on a 9-game winning streak.
Well, you know, it's just a matter of execution. Whichever team executes better on offense and defense is going to win it. You know, you got 2 good teams out here.
Well, I tell you, we're looking forward to a good contest. Good luck to you tonight, and hope to see you in the regionals.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Coach. Let's go on back over.
Presents Peninsula District semifinal basketball. The Bethel Bruins versus the Hampton Crabbers. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Anderson Fieldhouse at Fort Eustis for the semifinal action between the number 2 seeded Hampton Crabbers and the number 3 seeded Bethel Bruins. Now, so far in the Peninsula District tournament, we have had true to form. All of the seeds have won their games. Kecoughtan, of course, has advanced to the Friday night finals. They will play the winner of this game, and the winner of this game will go along with Kecoughtan to the regionals starting next week. And, of course, we'll have some of those games for you as well. But, Bob, this game, as one of the coaches has already mentioned to us, it doesn't get any bigger than this because you win this game and you advance, and if you lose, your season's over with.
Yeah, and Tim, it's really neat to talk to these 2 coaches because they're both upbeat. They both feel they can win. Even though Bethel has beat Hampton twice, Hampton feels like the last time they played Bethel, they came down, made 1 pass, shot the ball, never got into their offense. Coach Brower says, I've got to make Bethel play offense and defense. I got to make them work both ends of the court. On the other side, they got to make an adjustment defensively against the 2 good shooters that Bethel has in Iverson and Rutland. What he is going to do, he's going to put Damon Baycoat on this young man that's on the screen, Tony Rutland, because he's been shooting over the Pringle who has been guarding him, or Woodard. He's too tall for him, so he's going to put Damon Baycoat, who is about the same size, and try to shut down both of their scores. Bethel matches up real good with these 2 teams. They don't have a big man, but against Hampton they match up real good, Tim. It's going to be a great game.
Well, neither team really has the true big man in the center. Neither team has an outstanding center per se, not to take anything away against the inside game for either team because they can play that when they need to. They do have the scoring power. The leading scorer in the Peninsula District, Allen Iverson, of course, playing for the Bethel Bruins. There you see young sophomore Allen Iverson on your screen, averaging 23.5 points per game. Baycoat on the other side of the ledger for Hampton, 23.2, and then Rutland with 20 plus is the 3rd leading scorer in the Peninsula District. The Crabbers 14-4 in the Peninsula District, 17-5 overall. Bethel 13-5 in the district and 15-7 overall. But as you said, Bob, Bethel defeated Hampton both times in regular season play, so they'll have something to try and prove this evening. Right now, we ask you to join us for the playing of our national anthem.
Tim, just before we get back into this, the starting lineups, I watched Mike Bailey practice the other night, and he got his kids in a circle, and he says, listen, if there's a ball on the floor, we got to get it. If there's a chance to get a rebound, we got to get it. If there is a missed shot or something, we've got to be there. We got to make things happen for us. That's his philosophy, is you go out, because what he's talking about right now is you survive by, you win and survive. And that's what he wants to do. Survive and advance.
You are watching the introduction of the starting lineups for both teams. Tim Johnson and Chris Gaskell have been introduced for the Bethel Bruins. For the Hampton Crabbers, I believe that is Colin Brown. Damon Baycoat, number 30, coming on the court. There you see him, number 30, the sensational junior for the Hampton Crabbers. Brian Bean, a senior starter for the Bethel High School Bruins. Mario Gatling averaging better than 14 points per game for the Crabbers, trotting on the court. Allen Iverson, the sophomore sensation, averaging almost 24 points a game for the Bethel Bruins. And if you haven't seen this young man play, you have missed some excitement.
I tell you, you got that right.
You see,
that's Woodard. And then Tony Rutland.
Tony Rutland, also a sophomore.
And I tell you, I coached a young man by the name of his name was Tom Johnson at Bethel, was probably the sweetest shooter I have ever seen. This Tony Rutland has got the same kind of shot. When he is on, it is unbelievable. There you can see the starters.
And I didn't get a chance to mention the fifth starter for the Hampton Crabbers is number 20, Steve Pringle. And there you see the Bethel Bruins starters. And now there you see them again, Iverson, Rutland, Bean, Johnson, and Gaskell for Bethel. And for the Hampton Crabbers, coached by Walter Brower, Damon Baycoat, Brown, Woodard, Pringle, and Gatling. Of course, Mike Bailey, the head coach for the Bethel Bruins. Our officials tonight, Jim Downing.
That's him with the ball.
Brian Kersey and Kyle Nave, as we'll have 3 Zebras officiating tonight's ball game. And we're just about set to get this one underway. We hope you enjoy it. The Hampton Crabbers, the Bethel Bruins, no tomorrow for one of these teams. It doesn't get much better, as Coach Walter Brower said a little earlier.
It sure don't get much better than this. You got that right.
Tap is controlled by whom? The Bethel Bruins. Gaskell all alone underneath. Mario Gatling rejects the attempted shot. A little bit of one-upsmanship going on right now. Some of that in your face is going to be like that all night type game. The Bruins retain possession. Iverson for 3, hit it.
You can't let those guys shoot. You got to get somebody in their face. If you're Hampton, that was a nice look by the Bethel Bruin to get the ball under, and Hampton did a great job of running an offense. Got a good shot by Mario Gatling. It wouldn't fall. Bethel comes away with the ball.
Iverson spots Rutland. Rutland in and out, missed the 3. Battled for underneath, and I believe Bethel stepped on the end line. They did.
That's Tim Johnson, number 33. He is really a hustler and a fighter. We've seen him on the football field, how well he can do. He doesn't give up anything. Come on this basketball court. Bethel is playing man-to-man, Tim.
4 8-minute quarters in high school basketball. In case you're not familiar with the proceedings, there is no shot clock in high school ball either, and pretty much the rest of the rules are pretty much the same as you might be used to. Battle for underneath, finally controlled by Rutland. He wants to run with the ball to Iverson. Iverson, reverse layup. Got it.
Nice look by Tony Rutland.
And Hampton will call a timeout.
Bethel will run. They love an up-tempo. Hampton will also run, but I don't think they're quite as quick as this Bethel team.
Get a chance to watch the replay of that basket and the fine pass from Rutland to Iverson. Iverson on the dead run. There you see him going and reversing the layup 4-2.
Tim, you see he kept his eye on the ball the whole time, and this is what you try to teach youngsters. You watch the ball all the way into the basket, off the board right into the basket. Nice job by Tony Rutland to get Allen Iverson the ball.
Hampton lost to Bethel at the Bethel Gymnasium 83-72 back on the 14th of January, and then 1 month later on Valentine's Day, it was more like the massacre. They walked into Hampton's home court, Bethel did, and they beat them there 90-74. So you can tell by those scores of 90 and 83 against a good defensive Hampton team that Bethel just is an awesome offensive machine, and that will be the big job for the Crabbers tonight, to shut down that scoring machine. Crabbers trailing 5-0. This is Baycoat kicking it out for Gatling.
It looks like Hampton is kind of spreading the floor a little bit so Bethel can't double up. Running a real open offense, they're setting a lot of screens.
This is Giuseppe Woodard, number 10 with the ball. 6:25 remaining in the first, and the ball is lost out of bounds by the Crabbers. Baycoat just dribbled it off his own foot. There you see Mike Bailey giving instructions to his Bruins, seeded number 3 in the tournament, and looking for what would be the first upset of the seeds, if you could call it that.
Hampton that time was in a 1-3-1 zone, Tim. Bethel forced the ball inside, didn't get a good catch on the ball, and turned it over. But Hampton's strategy is a little different now. They're going to try to give Bethel a lot different looks, evidently.
Gatling way out near the center of the court. Gives back to Stevie Pringle. Pringle gives to Carlin Brown. The 16-footer is no good. Baycoat with a good rebound. Sticks it back up, but won't go. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Crabbers.
The Crabbers are beating the Bruins right now on the board, Tim, but they're not getting a good hang on the ball, good handle on it. They're not coming down with the rebound underneath the basket. But they've got great position. And you can see the 1-3-1 zone that the Crabbers are into.
Iverson dishing to Rutland. Rutland will fire and hit a three.
That zone will open up some offensive shots for the Bruins. Jumped out to an 8-0 lead.
We've played almost 3 minutes, and the Crabbers have yet to dent the score column. This is Woodard. Baycoat to Pringle.
He puts Brian Bean on Baycoat, trying to keep him off the board. And here comes Tony out and running.
And Rutland throws it away.
Well, he was looking for Brian Bean, and Brian got screened by Chris Gaskell. But that was a nice look inside. Nice pass, just didn't know execution on that particular trip down the floor.
Woodard comes out, and Tabin Garrett, number 32, checks in for the Crabbers. And Baycoat loses the handle.
Hampton just looks a little out of sync right now, Tim. Tim Baycoat normally catch that ball. He bounced one off his foot. Maybe they're just a little tight.
Inside for Tim Johnson. Johnson penetrates, tries to pass off. It's stolen by the Crabbers. Carlin Brown will push it up. Brown is hammered on the way to the basket.
Nice pass inside to Chris Gaskell. A little hot for him to handle. But Bethel's got a good offense against that zone, Tim, but they've turned it over twice on they're trying to force the pass, and they need to be just a little more patient.
You saw Walter Brower a moment ago and David Blizzard, the coaching staff. Watch this. You'll see the replay. Watch number 4, Rutland will reach in and hack him on the arm. Good call. 2 shots coming for Carlin Brown as he tries to get the Crabbers on the scoreboard with 4:23 remaining. They are on the wrong end of an 8-0 shutout. And Brown breaks the drought with the free throw. The winner of this game plays Kecoughtan Friday night, and those two teams will advance to the Eastern Regionals next week. Two teams from the Peninsula District will go, and Brown is perfect from the free throw line and cuts the lead to 6. Allen Iverson. I mean, this man is a magician with the ball. He'll go for 3, and he misses from the heel of the rim. Chased down nicely by 23 Brian Bean. Rutland from the corner for 3, in and out. Bruins controlling the board right now, and they get the basket from Brian Bean.
Well, Brian Bean is a hustler. He got 2 rebounds on 2 missed shots.
You cannot give a Bethel team 3 shots each time down the floor, or you definitely will not win the ballgame. 10-2 is the lead. 3:45 remaining. Right side, Pringle off the glass and good. So Steve Pringle gets the Crabbers' first basket of the game, and it comes after more than 4 minutes of play. Iverson in too deep, throws it back outside. Well outside the three-point range is Rutland, and he gets nothing but net.
Iverson brought everybody with him, left Tony open on the perimeter, and he's a shooter.
Carlin Brown penetrates and draws the blocking foul.
That's on Tim Johnson. Tim, that was a good call. He moved over as Carlin drove the lane.
Walter Brower with some consternation on his face, as you might imagine. His team down by 9 here in the first quarter.
And 9 of those points came on 3-point shots, Tim.
Here's your replay. Watch as Carlin Brown will drive the lane, and Johnson not quite set.
Well, he moved over because Carlin jumped to the left or to the right, and Tim trying to draw the charge. Wasn't a bad move on his part.
Carlin Brown 3 for 3 from the free throw line. 3:17 remaining in the first period. 13-5 is the score, and Brown makes that 13-6. Sophomore Allen Iverson averaging almost 24 points a game. He'll push it up, he'll pull up and shoot. Off the rim, no good. Bean with another offensive board. Bean will try for 2 himself, no good. Got his own rebound, and then he traveled.
I didn't see that travel.
He got knocked around pretty good.
He got a little help on that.
Traveling the call nonetheless, and
I'm impressed with Brian Bean's rebounding ability, Tim. He's not a very big young man, but he gets great position. Great position.
Scott Walker in the ball game now for the Crabbers, as Walter Brower not the least bit hesitant to go to his bench. Trying to find some combination that'll work. Rutland will go in and slam it.
Reverse dunk.
Rutland with 2 more. He has 8 in the first period.
Nice look by Chris Gaskell.
Give and go to Brown.
Nice play. Beautiful. Basic offensive move.
Iverson dishes for Johnson for the easy banker.
This is the tempo that Bethel loves. They love up and down, Tim.
And this is not the tempo that Hampton wants to be involved in. 17-8. 2:06 remaining. Brown almost lost the handle. Baseline, Baycoat can't get it to drop. And the ball is knocked out to Allen Iverson. He'll push it up. 1-on-4. Spots Rutland open. Reverse layup.
Oh! Nice look by Allen Iverson. They're playing together, and that's what they got to do. As this unit plays together and is unselfish, Tim, they are awesome.
Give the assist to Iverson, the basket to Rutland. Baycoat with his own move. So Damon Baycoat, with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first, gets his first 2. Iverson off balance shot, can't get it to drop, and battled for its last touched by the Bethel Bruins before they went out of bounds with it. 19-10. Another change as checking out is Garrett, and coming in for the Crabbers now. Let's set the lineup for you. Baycoat and Brown, along with Pringle, Walker, and Gatling. Walter Brower has used 8 players so far here in the first period. Mario Gatling's jumper is short. not his shot. Chris Gaskell has it stolen by Gatling. Gatling with good hustle and scores.
Chris just was too quick trying to get rid of the ball. He needs to be a little patient. Nice hustle by Mario Gatling.
Rutland with a quick move, and he is grabbed on the way to the bucket. I'm not so sure that he
totally lost his shirt.
I'm not sure that he meant to grab his shirt. That was somewhat bizarre. At any rate, Rutland will go to the free throw line. So Tony now will be the only Bruin on the court without the T-shirt. There you see a good look at Tony Rutland, and the first thing he hasn't done perfectly here in the first period.
Well, Tim, and he backed away from the shot. He needs to stay on the foul line. When he's a good shooter, but you got to stay there and follow through. He backed up when he let go of the ball that time. There he stayed on, and you can see the difference of the shot rather than falling backwards.
11 points for Rutland here in the first period alone. We have less than a minute to go. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz bringing you this semifinal action. Peninsula District boys game between Hampton and Bethel. The winner earns the right to play Kickintan for the Peninsula District Championship Friday night. Iverson, what a move.
Wow, right now nobody picked him up.
He just blew right through two Hampton would-be defenders and got the easy layup. 10-point Bethel lead. Carlin Brown has it stolen. Rutland again will have a chance at showtime. This time he just lays it in.
You can't be sloppy with the ball around this Bethel Bruin team. They're quick. They anticipate passes.
Brown gets the shot off, but not before the buzzer had sounded. So the basket does not count. Woo! And after one period of play, we'll get a chance to watch the replay of that long pass from Gaskell to Rutland. This time Rutland will just kind of backhand it in. That was some earlier action. I wasn't sure which one this was.
You should have got the clue because he had a shirt on.
That's true. That's true. Or Sherlock Holmes would have picked that up. That was the earlier
elementary, my dear
reverse dunk. He'll like that one. He'll keep that one in his archives.
Oh, and he should. I tell you, I am so pleased with the way that that both the Iverson and Rutland are playing. They are looking for other players. They are both scorers, and they may have a tendency as we watch another move by this Bethel Bruin team. They are looking for other people. To me, that's a nice pass to Rutland from Iverson. Tim, unselfishness is something that's hard to teach when you are a good shooter, but that's what Bethel's doing right now. Hampton, on the other hand, have got to get their offense in.
Can I squeeze one in here, Coach?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Before I can, I want to run down some quick statistics. Crabbers hit only 33%, 4 out of 12. Bruins 10 of 17, 59%. And
wow.
3 out of 6 from the three-point line. I'm sorry about that. I was going to lose that screen, so I had to.
I didn't want you to lose that screen. but Hampton's got to play a little more under control and protect the ball a little more.
I want to thank Gary Moore for his usual incredible statistics. Rutland hits another one. He's got 16 points, and we've just started the second period. 27-14, Bethel by 13 points. Ball knocked out of bounds by the Bruins.
Tim, I tell you, the people underneath the basket, we're talking about number 55, Kareem Woods, and 33, Tim Johnson, are really trying to do a job on Mario Gatling. Mario Gatling is really a tough, strong post player, and they are denying him the ball right now.
You might have seen that play in the corner. Iverson, betraying his sophomore knowledge, is showing how really a great thinker he is. He had a chance to save the ball and very quickly and perfectly bounced the ball off of a crabber out of bounds to give the Bruins the ball. He does it all. Bait code in heavy traffic and a foul underneath. I don't believe the foul was actually...
no, it's on 23, Dean.
Yeah, it was on Brian Bean. That will be his first. It'll be a player control foul, as Hampton is not in the act of shooting on the foul, and they have not achieved the 7-foul team limit. Pringle will fire off to the left. Gatling follows, got his own rebound again, and puts it back in.
He is strong, Tim.
4 points for Mario Gatling, 11-point difference, and a traveling call on the play. The pace extremely fast here. Crowd is really enjoying this ball game. Got a good crowd on hand here at Anderson Fieldhouse for the semifinal action.
Well, it's not packed, but it sure is close. And this is a semi-contest. This is not the finals.
That'll be Friday night, and if you're watching this Thursday, we invite you to come out Friday night. You will not be disappointed. Woodard on the way to the basket draws the foul. He'll get 2 shots.
55, Kareem Woods picked up that foul.
Against the Bethel Bruins, number 55, Kareem Woods. His first personal foul, 4th team foul.
That's the 4th team foul against the Bruins. Woodard will get 2 shots.
Well, they'll go until they have 7 before they shoot the bonus. In high school this year, used to be 5, now it's 7.
Woodard is just a sophomore. Baycoat, of course, is a junior. So a couple of good-looking young ball players coming back for the Hampton Crabbers next year.
And they had an undefeated JV team too, Tim.
Don't they always? Seems like every year their JV team is undefeated. Give it, get it back. Iverson off balance, doesn't get it to go. But again, Brian Bean with another offensive board. Shot no good. And Colin Brown comes out with it for the Crabbers. Almost stolen by Allen Iverson. He's all over the place.
Tim, we watched him over Bethel one night steal the ball 3 times in 15 seconds, if you can remember. And it happened so quick, we didn't even get a chance to talk about it.
27-18, 5:55 remaining in the first half. Hampton loses the ball. Woodard lost control of it. Iverson one-on-one, spins, puts it up, no good. Tim Johnson follows. Allen Iverson trying to do a little bit too much that time.
Well, he was either going to get fouled or spin. If he'd have made this place would have gone crazy.
He's fun to watch. Baycoat, and he gets the roll. So Damon Baycoat with his second bucket. They've got to get some points from Baycoat for Hampton to stay in this ball game. They're down by 9. They've cut the 13-point lead down. And again, the Bethel Bruins turn it over. You don't want to keep Hampton in the game if you can help it, because they are a team that has the ability to scrap and fight
Tim,
back.
They're on a 9-game winning streak. Last game they lost was to this Bruin.
Well, 8 out of 9. They've won 8 out of the last 9, and the only loss was to Bethel. Yep, these two teams are good ball clubs, so don't count Hampton out, even though they're down 9. A basket here makes it 7 or 6 if it's a 3. Pringle throws up a 3, and Iverson gets the board. Iverson, and the foul will be called against Jamel Gray. That'll be Gray's first personal foul. This will be a player control foul.
His first personal foul is going to be the second against the Crabbers.
There you see young Jamel Gray, number 12.
Sidney Woodard back in the lineup for the Hampton Crabbers.
Tony Rutland picked up by Baycoat, 2 of the best shooting players in the Peninsula District. Rutland with great quickness throws it up. Got his own rebound.
What a tap!
Number 33, Tim Johnson.
Rutland tapped his own shot in. He now has 8, 6, 14, 15 points. Carlin Brown with the bucket underneath.
Nice pass that time from the Hampton. I couldn't see who it was, Woodard or Pringle, that popped that ball in there.
8 points for Brown. Iverson again off balance, off the heel of the rim, batted around and finally controlled by Baycoat. Crabbers down by 9, looking to cut it to 7 halfway through the second period. Baycoat shot a weak shot, and back come the Bruins. Tony Rutland will pull up, shoot and miss, and Baycoat with a rebound at the other end of the court. So the Bruins have cooled off a bit after hitting almost 60% in the first period.
Well, that's a torrid pace to keep up with.
Yeah.
Tim.
And of those shots in the first period, 3 of 6 were from the three-point range. Making 3 out of 6, I should say. They attempted 6, made 3. Brown inside, Gatling. Hampton used good patience that time, and then Gatling knocks the ball out of bounds in frustration. Lucky he didn't get a tee.
Yeah, because it went off the head of one of the Bruins, it looked like.
I mean, you can see he didn't mean to do it, but that was beside the point. Chris Gaskell and number 5, Rodney Bell, will check in, replacing Kareem Woods and Allen Iverson for the Bruins. Iverson will get his first breather of the first half. Mario Gatling will be at the free throw line. That was the 5th team foul, but of course he was fouled in the act of shooting, so he will get the 2.
And that's the second one by Kareem Wood.
Yeah. Gatling will connect on both free throws. The Crabbers are 8 out of 8 from the free throw line, and that has certainly helped their cause here to stay in this ball game. Bean spots Gaskell underneath, can't get it to drop. Johnson tapped, it wouldn't go, and Gaskell chases down the long rebound. Rodney Bell to Rutland. Bell penetrates, off-balance shot, comes up short. I'm somewhat surprised by the Bruins' off-balance shooting. They've done a lot of that in the first period, but that actually, in the same breath, I'll tell you, I'm not really surprised because I've seen them play like this a little bit out of control at times.
Yeah, they are.
But you gotta like the way they play. Baycoat spins and hits.
And they're letting Bethel right back in the game. They're only down by 5.
So the Crabbers have stayed close with perfect free throw shooting.
They let Hampton back in the game.
Yep, the Bruins have found a little cold spell here. Rutland will try and reignite it. He does not. And Carlin Brown wipes the board clean, with the Crabbers now a chance to cut the lead to 3. Pringle will fire, no good. Baycoat with a good rebound, put it back in.
And Hampton is getting it done because of second shots.
Baycoat with 8 points, and it is a 3-point game. So the Crabbers, who were down by 13, have cut it to 3. Brian Bean with some nice moves, can't get it to drop, and saved nicely by Steve Pringle on the baseline.
I'm very surprised at the way they're shooting those shots inside. Like you said, very off balance.
Really bizarre because they don't need to be. They're kind of forcing themselves into acrobatic shots. Baycoat, no, they're going to say the foul was before the shot. The ball went in, and in the NBA he would have gotten that one, but not in high school.
And it was a close call there.
Tony Rutland now has 2 personals in the first half. On the 5th one, you're out for the evening, so with 1:26 remaining, Rutland will want to stay away from any possibility of picking up that 3rd foul. We'll get a chance to watch the replay. See Baycoat. Rutland will get him right there before he went into his act of shooting. From the corner, a 3, no good. And they say it was last touched by Tim Johnson.
I think Tim had a little help from number 32.
Over his shoulder and a little help from behind, you're right.
But Rutland is sitting on the bench now. He's taking his first breather.
Well, as I said, he's got 2 personals, and I know Mike Bailey doesn't want him playing with 3 going into the second half. Baycoat draws the foul, and that will be the 7th team foul. Gaskell picks up his first personal foul, and this will be 2 shots nonetheless, but that does put the Bruins over the limit, while the Crabbers as a team have committed just 2 fouls.
At the line to shoot 2 for the Crabbers, number 30, David Baycoat.
The fact of the matter is the Bruins are so up-tempo, the Crabbers haven't had a chance to foul them.
You got that right.
There you see a real good look at Damon Baycoat. the junior from Hampton, and he cans the first free throw, keeping the Crabbers perfect from the free throw line. They are 9 out of 9 so far. And with this one, if he can hit it, it'll make it a 1-point ball game. Baycoat, nothing but net. So the Bruins, who had a 13-point lead, have seen it cut to 1. This is Bell to Iverson. Iverson guarded very closely by Pringle. And Iverson is double teamed, and the foul is called on number 42, Carlin Brown. That'll be his first. Brown didn't agree with the call, but then
he bumped him the first. He didn't call it when he bumped him the first time. He did the second time, which was questionable.
Less than a minute to go in the first half. Bruins 31-30 over Hampton. Bell gives to Bean. Back out for Rodney Bell. Half a minute to go. Bruins led by an 8-0 score at one point. Iverson for 3.
That was an NBA 3, Tim.
He was 5 feet, but outside of the three-point line. Crabbers will try one of their own at the other end. It does not go. Now the Bruins with 4 seconds remaining. Johnson was open. Bell will fire it up. It's no good, and the buzzer sounds to end the first half. So after a 12-point lead after one period, at halftime, the Bruins have to settle for a 4-point lead after a very cool second period of shooting. And at halftime, our score, Bethel 34, Hampton 30. Will return to Anderson Fieldhouse after a brief timeout. There you see some of the first half action as the young sophomore sensation Allen Iverson canned that 3. He had 2 of those in the first half. A total of 10 points for Allen Iverson, 18 points for Tony Rutland, 2 points for Brian Bean, and 4 points for Tim Johnson. All of those unofficial, of course. The Bruins were 1 of 2 from the free throw line. They shot 59% from the field in the first half. And the Hampton Crabbers hit 40%. They warmed up after a slow start, and then they hit 10 out of 10 free throws, did the Crabbers. They were paced with 10 points by Damon Baycoat.
How many?
10. You gonna put your headset on? 10 points for Baycoat, 8 for Carlin Brown, 6 for Mario Gatling, 4 points for Giuseppe Woodard, and 2 points for Steve Pringle.
Look, Mom, you're on camera. Smile, Tim.
Look, and the Hampton Crabbers trailed 24-12 after one period, but as you can tell, they've cut that lead to just 4 points, and it would have been 1 if it hadn't been for Iverson's three-pointer right there at the conclusion of the first half.
And that was like from NBA three-pointer, Tim. But you look at your statistics, and I'm looking over your shoulder. 10 for 10 from the foul line for the Crabbers makes a real big difference in the score.
Oh, there's no question about it. Without those free throws, the Crabbers would have been in real deep trouble. They are very much in this ball game, trailing by as many as 13 in the first half, and they cut that final margin to 4. As we go into the second half, we remind you that the winner of this game will play Kecoughtan at 8 o'clock Friday night, the 28th of February. here at Anderson Fieldhouse. If you're watching this game before Friday night, make plans to come on out to Anderson Fieldhouse at Fort Eustis. It's real easy to get on the base. There's no strip search or anything else. You don't have to have a decal. All you got to do is tell the officer at the gate that you're going to the ball game, and they'll wave you right through.
And if you get here early at 6 o'clock, you get to see a great Phoebus girls basketball team play Menchville in the finals of the girls bracket.
Absolutely. So great doubleheader of action, family fun at Anderson Fieldhouse. Support your favorite high school team. Come on out, please. We'll look for you here at Anderson Fieldhouse Friday night. And of course, if you can't be there, we'll have it for you here on Channel 5. Both the Phoebus girls game and the winner of this game versus Kecoughtan Friday night. Allen Iverson with the ball to start the second half, picking up where he left off for the Bethel Bruins. The Bruins will have Bean Iverson. They'll also have Xavier Gunn to start the second half. He did not start the first half. And Chris Gaskell will be in place as he was to start the game. Tim Johnson does not start the second half. Gunn does. For the Crabbers, as a foul is called against Hampton.
That's Stevie Pringle that got it, Tim. And Stevie is shadowing Allen Iverson.
Iverson will be at, no, he will not be at the free
They're going to
throw line.
count. He passed the ball. Had he went ahead and shot it, he would have got 2, but he passed it after the whistle, and that just takes a little while to.
All right, for the Crabbers, they have Gatling and Brown, along with Pringle, Baycoat, and number 12, Jamel Gray, starting the second half in place of Woodard.
This is one of the things the coach talked about. Inbounds play, you got to execute.
Rutland looks inside and then throws the ball, and it goes right through the hands of Gunn.
He took his eyes off the ball, and those are things that you can't. Those little mistakes like that will really hurt you, Tim, because Bethel never got off a shot on their first possession.
And Gunn coincidentally comes out in favor of Johnson. Or was it coincidence? Carlin Brown standing on the three-point line, looks inside. That's not his shot. He does penetrate. Nice move to the bucket by Carlin Brown. So Brown, who had 8 points in the first half, now has double digits. He's got 10, and it's a 2-point difference. Allen Iverson off balance. Bean with yet another offensive board, throws up an air ball. And Brown now with a chance for the Crabbers to tie or go ahead. Trailing by 2. Brown is given the three-point shot. Stepped closer, took the shot, it didn't go. And a foul will be called against, I believe, Mario Gatling. That's who it will be. They'll say that Gatling climbed the Bethel Bruin players back. So they play a little sluggish to start the second half in comparison to the first period.
And it's a little slower pace, too, which favors Hampton. Hampton executes a whole lot better offensively, slower pace than what the Bruins do. Bruins are a very fast-paced team.
This is Iverson, and Iverson is fouled on his way to the basket. Let's see if it is a shooting foul. I believe it will be. And this one will be on. Damon Baycoat picks up his first personal foul. Iverson will, in fact, get 2 shots. You know, he didn't do much against Hampton in the 2 previous games. All he did was score 39 points in one game and 23 in another. You get a chance to watch the replay as Iverson shows his human side and misses the first of the 2 free throws.
And again, it's just a lack of concentration on that foul line. You've got to concentrate every time you put the ball up.
1 out of 2 as we're back to the live action. Bruins ahead by 3. This is sudden death basketball. Gatling from way outside. So Mario Gatling shows some of his shooting range. And stolen by Pringle. Pringle waiting for his teammates to catch up. Does a nice job of going to the bucket. He draws the foul and he hits the basket. So the basket will count.
We got a timeout for the Bruins. They've got to settle down, get back in their game.
And the Crabbers, with that basket, have taken the lead. The basket will count. Allen Iverson is charged with the personal foul. Bob, I hesitate to bring this up, but are we going to have a player of the game for tonight?
We sure are, Tim. And this is a DC Engraving Sports Place Player of the Game. We have a plaque that we will donate to the Player of the Game from DC Engraving, which is located on Route 17 in Tabb Square in York County. Dave Buckwalter is a young man who is a proprietor out there. It's a great job on these plaques for us year in and year out. We'll have a t-shirt with the Player of the Game on it, donated by Sports Place, which is in Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road right now for Bethel High School. Dave Chubb is a young man there. We appreciate all the efforts of these two people helping us pick the Player of the Game. So we have a DC Engraving Sports Place Player of the Game that we will pick before the end of this contest.
Some of the fans of the end zone there, Mr. Baton trying to get the wave going. They had a wave of 4. A baby wave. I guess they'd call that a breaker.
Yeah. Or maybe an undertow. I'm not sure.
A ripple. There you go. Pringle will be at the free throw line trying to complete the three-point play. Steve Pringle. And he cans it as the Crabbers continue their mastery at the free throw line. And we've got a foul inside. Mike Bailey wants it to be a shooting foul. Let's see if that's the way they call it. 2 shots.
Yes, it will be 2 shots.
Carlin Brown is called for his second personal. You see Mike Bailey, the head coach of the Bethel Bruins. Allen Iverson will step to the free throw line and he'll get 2 shots. We'll look at that play again. See Iverson coming in there. He's tied up. Can't really see the foul because Gatling is between us and the infraction. But the official right there called the play as Allen Iverson hits the first free throw. And now his Bruins have a chance to tie if he can hit the second. Iverson wasting no time at all, releases. He's got 3 out of 4, and we're knotted up at 37. Gray and Pringle, the backcourt tandem for the Crabbers. Walter Brower has not at all been hesitant to make lineup changes, trying to get that ultimate matchup.
Well, the Bruins right now are in a zone, Tim, rather than the man-to-man where they were in earlier.
Carlin Brown is left open, can't get it to drop, and Tony Rutland will bring the board down. Rutland going coast to coast, left-hander, yes!
Nice left hand.
So Rutland gets his first 2 of the second half. He has got 20 on the game. And the Bruins back on top. And we've got a out-of-bounds play at the baseline. Walter Brower wants a timeout. Calls for it and gets it.
Gatling may have had a little help on that baseline. Chris Gaskell gave him a little bump, but
a couple of former football combatants.
Well, and they've been having words all during the game. I know Jim Downey, just before that last time out, Tim, got both of those young men together and talked to them and said, hey, let's settle down, let's play basketball. This is not a game of one-upmanship and all this stuff and in your face. We're going to play basketball. Don't want any messing around, and that'll settle them down in a heartbeat.
4:48 remaining in the third. Statistically here, just real quickly, in the first half, the Crabbers hit 10 of 25, and the Bruins 14 of 36 in the field goal range. The Bruins did better three-point wise, hitting 5 of 11 for 46%, while the Crabbers were 0 for 4 in three-point attempts. Again, Gary Moore, our statistician, providing these very quick and accurate statistics. We appreciate his help. Tim Johnson in close, in and out, and last touched by the Bruins. So the Crabbers will have it, and they'll have a chance now to retie as the Bruins have taken a 2-point lead.
Well, that's what the Bruins has got to get some scoring on the inside like that from Tim Johnson and these other young men underneath those nice 3, 4, and 5 footers, and they're not hitting them, and that's hurting.
Again, I remind you, there is no shot clock in high school ball, so there is no pressure on the team to shoot within a prescribed period of time. However, the close guarding rule comes into effect, but that's not a problem right now either. Carlin Brown on the way to the hoop gets fouled. Wait and see who this one will be called against. It looks like it's on Allen Iverson. That would be his second. So Iverson picks up his second. He and Rutland have 2 each, as does Kareem Woods. The only players with 2 for the Bruins. Crabbers have 1 player, Carlin Brown, with 2.
Young man could shoot the ball. Damon Baycoat, nice bank shot.
Baycoat ties us at 39. Inside, a foul is called against, I believe this was against Baycoat. That'll be 2 on Baycoat.
And that's the 15th foul on the Crabbers. First half, they didn't have but 2 or 3 fouls the whole half.
Here you see the replay inside Gaskell. Baycoat goes up, got a lot of ball, but he also got him with the body, according to the official who was right there with perfect position to call the play. Gaskell hits the free throw. A little short on the second one, and it's rebounded by Gatling. Crabbers trailing by a point. If you joined us late, the Crabbers trailed in the first half by 13 and cut the lead to 4 at halftime. Pringle with a loose ball, put it up, no good. Baycoat with the rebound, hooks it up, no good. No good on the follow. Another rebound by Gatling, and he'll bank it in.
Nice hustle. But the Crabbers to keep that ball alive, Tim.
Mario Gatling with 10 points, showing his stick-to-itiveness. Iverson can't buy a bucket now. Pringle, his team leading by a point. Woodard back in the ball game for the Crabbers. Spots Carlin Brown. Brown looking inside. Crabbers with no real big man for the inside work.
Well, Tim Johnson is going everywhere that Baycoat goes. They're playing a box and one.
Nice feed from Iverson.
Great job by Allen Iverson. Watch the box and one. Tim Johnson, number 33, will go everywhere Baycoat goes. They figure if they can shut him down, they can really hurt the Crabbers. So you see a box and one by the Bruins.
Woodard on the baseline is fouled. Foul is charged to Brian Bean. That'll be his second.
Foul will be against the Bruins, number 23, Brian Bean. That is his second personal foul.
So the pace has slowed considerably, as I mentioned. Of course, the Bruins came out with 24 first period points and then only added 10 in the second. Baycoat penetrates, put it up, it goes, and he is fouled.
That is the same out-of-bounds play that the Crabbers have run about 2 or 3 times. Damon brings the ball in, gets it back, and shoots. He shot a bank shot one time. That time he took it to the basket, got a foul, and got the basket chance for 3 points.
Here's your replay as Kareem Woods. Watch what you were talking about, Bob. The lob in right back to the man who threw the ball in.
And you kind of forget about that man, and you can't do that.
Baycoat in and out and back in again on the free throw, so he gets a 3-point play. And he has added 5 here in the third period, and the Crabbers down by a point. And a foul before the shot, a blocking foul.
And that's on Pringle, number 20.
Foul is going to be against the Crabbers.
That'll be the second on Pringle, and that'll be the 6th team foul.
And it'll be out of pass the non-shooting.
6th against the Crabbers.
So on this next foul and all subsequent fouls, there will be a 1-and-1 invoked. Rutland is wide open for three.
Way
Throws
short.
up an air ball. So Rutland, who could not miss earlier from the three-point range, this time hits nothing. And the Crabbers up by 2.
Sometimes you're too open.
Yeah, that was truly a case of that. No one on there. It was shooting practice, and of course, this gym is not something these players are totally familiar with. Turnaround jumper by Gatling is good. And now Hampton with their biggest lead, a 4-point lead with 1:52 remaining in the third. Rutland gets his man off his feet, and then the foul is committed by Gatling, overplaying the ball. That'll be 2 on him.
And that'll be the 1-and-1, Tim.
So the Crabbers, who as a team only committed 2 fouls in the first half, with 1:47 remaining in the third period, have committed 7 as a team, and for the duration will give up at least the 1-and-1. Kareem Woods will be at the free throw line. This will be his first trip there. And Woods cans the first. He'll get the bonus. That first one is so important. Here's your replay.
Xavier Gunn checks in, Tim, for Tim Johnson.
There you saw Gatling with the big body. There was no question that he committed the foul on Woods. Woods misses the second, and Baycoat gets the board for Hampton. Hampton by 3. The ball knocked away from behind on a good defensive play. Woods traveled, no call. Rutland for 3, hits!
And somebody in his face that time. Very explosive team.
We're tied at 46. Winner advances to the Eastern Regionals and a trip against Kickintan. Friday night here, the loser gets to watch. All or nothing. Inside, Baycoat. So Damon Baycoat has added 7 points, and his team regains the lead. Iverson will fire for 3. Hit! So the Bruins starting to warm up again from the three-point range.
They're going to do a triangle and 1, Tim. Basically, it's a triangle. It's not a box and 1. It's a triangle and 1.
Pringle.
They may be looking for the last shot, Hampton. I don't know, Tim. There's 30 seconds to go in the quarter. They may be trying to take the last shot during the...
I think they'll take a shot earlier if it gets them a good shot, but they're not going to force anything. It would appear to be the strategy at this point. Down to 15 seconds. Bethel by 1 point. You wouldn't have known it was going to be a close game the way Bruins started out this game. Down to 5 seconds. Brown's shot no good. Ball is loose. Baycoat, and it will not go in.
I can't believe there wasn't a foul called on the rebound by Tony Rutland. He had the ball and was knocked down, lost the ball, no call.
So the Crabbers eat 3 points of the halftime lead up. And after 3 periods of play, the Bruins lead by just 1 point.
But about 40 seconds ago, they were down by 4 and hit two quick ones.
2 consecutive three-pointers, 1 from Rutland and 1 from Iverson. 23 points now unofficially for Tony Rutland. See if I can get Gary to give me the team statistics through 3 periods.
And while you're doing that, again, we want to talk about the player of the game. T-shirt coming from Sports Place, which is located in Hampton Woods Plaza. And a plaque coming from DC Engraving, located in Tab Square in York County.
Hampton hit 53%, 8 of 15 from the floor. They did not attempt a three-pointer, and they were again perfect, 2 for 2 from the free throw line in the third period. The Bruins, on the other hand, 44%, 4 of 9. They were 2 out of 3 from the free throw line, 2 out of 3 from the three-point range, and 5 out of 8 from the free throws. Again, thank you, Gary. So we start the fourth quarter. This is the all-decisive fourth period. And as we start, the Bruins lead by 1, but Gatling makes that a new score with a 1-point lead for the Crabbers. Now almost stolen by Pringle. Iverson weaves his way through the traffic and then lost it on the pass to Xavier Gunn.
You got to be ready when Tony or Allen go to the basket because they may pass it. You never know. That was a good pass. Xavier Gunn just was not ready.
There you see Woodard. He and Pringle in the backcourt tandem. Baycoat playing a low post. Carlin Brand from outside. Crabbers being extremely patient. They lead by 1 point, and they've got the ball tipped around, controlled by Gatling. Gatling out of control, saved by Baycoat, and then a foul.
I think the foul is on Tony Rutland. It's exactly who it is.
Foul will be against the Bethel Bruins, number 4, Tony Rutland.
That is his third personal foul.
The Bethel Bruins, number 33, Tim Johnson. Checking in for the Hampton Crabbers, number 12, Jamal Gray.
Get a chance to watch the replay here as Gatling goes down, and then Baycoat stepped over him, and then one of the Kareem Woods stepped right on Gatling. Gatling took offense to that and grabbed at his ankle, and during the stoppage of play, Brian Kersey went over and discussed with Gatling his need to control his temper. Damon Baycoat is perfect from the free throw line. Of course, you'd imagine he would be. The Crabbers are as a team. They were 10 for 10 in the first half. They are 3 for 3 here in the second half. And they continue that mastery as they are now 4 for 4, 14 of 14 for the game. And that shooting from the free throw line has helped them with a 3-point lead. Rutland pushed off, didn't get a call. Ball is loose, controlled by Iverson. With a reverse layup, it wouldn't go.
The only way he could put it up was going the other side of the basket, and he put it up too hard, and it spun out.
Jamel Gray in the ball game now for the Crabbers. Walter Brower, again, as I repeat myself, has gone to his bench without hesitation during this game.
And he wants some movement off of his offense.
Baseline jumper is good by Baycoat.
That is their biggest lead, Tim.
11 points in the second half for Baycoat. Brian Bean's shot won't go. Rebound chased down, and last touch by the Bruins. Looks a little bit like a football game out there. A lot of tackling.
A little bit ragged.
21 points for Baycoat. Now he's got his average. Of course, that's not his concern in this game. He wants to win for the Crabbers, and they can advance to postseason extended play. And we've got a whistle and a foul underneath.
I don't believe the foul is great.
And a technical call against whom?
Well, a technical foul counts as a personal foul. Who did he call the technical on?
I don't know.
33, Tim Johnson got one of the fouls. Great block. I don't know where he got the foul from.
Well, in defense of the officials, they have a much better angle.
Well,
underneath.
it may have been not the guy that made the block.
Right. So you can't tell from our angle. And now the Crabbers missed their first free throw. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay here underneath. You'll see Brown go in.
Right, it's
That's
great
all
block.
ball. Now, he may have gotten him on the follow.
Okay, the back man, number 33, he called the foul on. But that was a great block by Allen Iverson.
And again, we couldn't see the foul. And the Crabbers, if you're a Hampton fan, you got to say, hey, you picked a lousy time to go cold from the free throw line. But now that was the technical foul, I believe.
No, this will be the technical. That was the foul.
So 2 fouls were called against Johnson on the same play.
Right, but Damon Baycoat is shooting the technical.
I got you. Now here's, the Crabbers could have really made hay here, because if Brown had hit the free throws, they have the potential for a 6-point.
6 or 7.
Or 7, yeah. I mean, they're going to get 4 free throws. They've missed the first 2. Baycoat has hit the first of his 2. And then they'll get the ball at half court. So Baycoat continues with his perfection as he now has hit 7 out of 7. And now the Crabbers will have it at half court. They have their biggest lead, 7 points. 56-49, the 8-point scoreless or their unscored upon streak. The Crabbers with 8 straight. Bean will draw the foul from David Baycoat. That was a good foul by Baycoat.
Yes, it was. The ball didn't go in. It was a good foul. If the ball had gone in, it would have been a bad foul.
The follow-up shot was a stuff by Iverson, but it was after the fact. So now the Crabbers will make Bean get the points from the free throw line. That is the 3rd personal on Baycoat. That could be a real big factor late in this ball game. We're at 5:44 to go here in the 4th, and Bean in and out with the free throw. Chris Gaskell comes back in the ball game for Bethel, replacing Kareem Woods. Here we see a good look at Brian Bean as he hits the 2nd of the free throws. Both teams will be in the bonus for the duration of the ball game. Nice pass underneath for Pringle.
Well, Bethel is in a zone press. Had a man open under the basket.
Crabbers by 8. And a foul on Gatling. I didn't see that foul. How's that one for you? That's 3 on Gatling. Looked like he got all the ball. Gatling plays so aggressively, you know, you just don't mind those kind of fouls when they're...
But not out at half court.
No, not at half court. And that was... I'd like to see that one again.
When you slap at the ball like that, you're going to get a call. If you hit the ball, they figure you're going to get part of the arm because he's slapping at the ball.
So Gatling now will play with 4 personal fouls. So the fouls are becoming a factor for these two teams. Rutland has 3 for the Bruins. And Gatling now with 4. Baycoat has 3.
And Walker is going to come in for Gatling.
So the Crabbers needing that 14.4 games per average for Gatling, but they can't afford to lose him here with more than 5 minutes to go. Bean cans both free throws. By the way, I do want to take an opportunity to thank Mike Keach and the rest of the sports group down at the Daily Press for providing statistics for me, even though I had to hunt for them. But nonetheless, no, I'm just kidding. And of course, we do, we'll get to some other thanks here in just a moment, but I really do want to thank the Daily Press all year long, the sports staff at the Daily Press helping us out with statistics.
Well, Mr. Updike and Paul Usick both have been just great help here at Anderson Fieldhouse. Tim just went out of the way to make sure that we got it set up or people got in, and we really appreciate them. They do a great job of running the Christmas tournament up here, and this is the first time that the Peninsula District has run a tournament up here, and that is really great. Well, we got a quick timeout. Real again, we need to be thinking about a player of the game. This is a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game. DC Engravings donates a plaque with the player's name, player of the game on it. This comes from DC Engraving, which is located in Tabb Square in York County. Dave Buckwalter, Bethel High graduate, is the owner there. And then a T-shirt with player of the game on it, donated by the Sports Place from the Sports Place located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is the young man you need to see there. Appreciate their efforts.
For the game, the Crabbers hitting 49% from the field, while the Bruins have slipped to 37.5%. Here in the second half, the Bruins hitting 33, 4 out of 12, while the Crabbers hitting 11 out of 18, 61%. And they hold a 6-point lead. They have led by as many as 8.
But Tim, with 4:55, almost 5 minutes, and the way the Bruins can hit those 3-pointers,
8 points is nothing.
You don't relax if you're Hampton. You don't relax.
Allen Iverson can do it too. He's the young man that you see there with the ball at the free throw line, and he'll get the roll. He is 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. He had 10 points at halftime, and he has added 7 more here for a total of 17. You see Mike Bailey coaching from the sideline. And Iverson cans both free throws and cuts the Hampton lead to just 4. Winner plays Kecoughtan Friday night at 8 p.m. here at Anderson Fieldhouse. Come on out. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a good one.
And you won't be disappointed.
Grabbers very methodical. Ball knocked loose, regained by Carlin Brown. Brown has it slapped away again. Got it back, put it up, short. And rebounded by his teammate Baycoat. Baycoat in heavy traffic, banks it in.
He uses that board very, very well. Hampton had a couple of chances for a turnover that time, and it didn't come out. Great job by the Bruins.
Walker has it slapped away. Bean is fouled and will get 2.
Sorry, I don't mean I meant Bethel. I meant the Crabbers down at the other end really hustled to keep a hold of that ball and ended up with a nice shot by Damon Baycoat. What's he got now, Tim, point-wise?
Baycoat had 10 at halftime, and he has added 15 more, so he's got his 25 for the night. Chris Gaskell will come out of the ballgame for the Bruins. As I said before, both teams are over the limit. This a shooting foul, so Bean will have 2, and he misses. Well, he should have 2 shots. The official didn't blow the whistle right away. He was kind of in a daze for a moment there.
Well, there's 3 officials.
You would have thought one
somebody
of the 3
should have known, right?
The official who was handing the ball to the shooter held up 2 fingers. Then when he missed the shot, I was somewhat surprised to see them battling for it. Good look at Brian Bean. Bean has 5 points unofficially for the night. And he rattles this one. It doesn't go, and Gatling with the board. Hampton by 6. Full court pressure by the Bruins. Crabbers break that pressure, knocked away by Rodney Bell. It should belong to Hampton, it does.
Rodney Bell did a great job. He had 2 men to guard, and he's probably the smallest young man out there on that floor, and he did a great job of breaking up a possible easy shot. 2 points by the Crabbers.
Tim Cole and Bob Hintz coming to you from Anderson Fieldhouse at Fort Eustis. You're watching the Peninsula District semifinal action between Hampton and Bethel. 3:49 remains in the ball game. Hampton, who had trailed by 13 points in the first half, holds a 6-point lead here with a little less than 4 minutes to go. And then a foul right after the ball is handed in. That will be 4 on Tony Rutland.
They're trying to get control of the game by little touch fouls. You do that at the beginning, not at the end of the ball game. You got to be consistent if you're an official.
Carlin Brown will go to the free throw line. Brown had 8 points at halftime and has added just 2 here in the second half. Missed his last 2 trips to the free throw line, but he hits this one. Here you see the replay. See the ball come in here, and Brown will be fouled by Rutland.
Right there. And what foul is there?
Yeah, there wasn't much.
I mean,
maybe a hand check, but certainly
well,
nothing.
But you've been doing it all game.
Yep.
Don't start calling it now.
You have to wonder, and that was a crucial foul because it's Rutland's 4th. Iverson penetrates, put it in. And now the Bruins, after the basket, will call a timeout.
Well, they're only down by 6, which is 2 possessions for the Bruins. I'm not keeping track of the timeouts, Tim. I have no idea how many they have. Does Gary?
Let me check with Gary, see if he has any. Do you know how many timeouts might remain for each team, Gary? Do you keep those in your stats? So Gary tells me that Hampton has 1 timeout remaining and Bethel has 2. See, I knew if anyone would know, Gary would know.
Go to the horse's mouth.
Let's listen for a minute. We'll watch the Hampton cheerleaders go through their routines. (62-56). The Crabbers with a 6-point lead. Bethel won both regular season games between the two teams, as we mentioned earlier.
And we talked to David Leach, the assistant principal at Bethel High School, prior to this game, and he said that's the only thing that kind of concerns him, beating a team of Hampton's caliber who ended up second in the district 3 times. Hard to do.
Jamel Gray will push it up. Feet on the right side for Pringle, and Pringle with good hustle by Iverson. Boy, he's fast. Iverson will take it in and lay it in. Iverson with great quickness cuts the lead to 4. Iverson all over the court. Carlin Brown is given the jumper. He takes it, can't get it to drop. Gatling got the rebound, and they're going to say a jump ball. Another quick whistle.
To Bethel.
That was a terrible call. He didn't have no one. Guys, you've done a good job, but there's been a couple of late calls here that I've found, you and I both have found some problem with, but it's a lot easier to criticize them than it is to be one, isn't it?
And that's the truth.
They've done a fine job, really. The officials have maintained good control of the ball game.
An easy basket miss that time could really hurt the Bruins.
Hampton with a 4-point lead and the ball, 2:40 remaining. Pick and roll, Baycoat from 6, no good. And Iverson has the loose ball. Then he is fouled by Gatling.
And that's all for Gatling.
So Gatling fouls out of the ball game. 14 points and a good hand from the Hampton crowd. We'll get a chance to see this again. Now, I'd like to see this one again myself because I just didn't see much of a foul here. He had position on the ball. Where was the foul? And then it took him about 2 or 3 seconds for the official to blow his whistle and raise his arm.
They're too quick now. You can't. That's not fair to these kids. To play under one set of rules the first half, and then you start calling it close the second half or the late stages of the ball game, and you can't do that.
Gray with a nice move to the basket, doesn't get it to drop. Rodney Bell was mugged, and the follow-up by Baycoat.
No foul on looked like a foul. No call.
Grabbers by 6. Iverson for 3, throws up an air ball.
You don't need to panic. You still got a minute 50 to go when he shot that ball.
Grabber may have gotten a little touch on that ball. Rutland with a big block. And then it goes out of bounds, belongs to Bethel. No, check that.
Yes, it's Bethel ball. Iverson knocked it off of Baycoat as he was going out of bounds. Great camera work on our people today.
As usual.
As usual. Jerome Young, Ron ESPN Baton, and Melvin Hooker doing a great job. And of course, don't forget Slow-Mo Joe on the truck and Beverly Penn.
We haven't talked much about Slow-Mo Joe.
And of course, Dr. Sam Still.
And for good reason too. Oh my goodness. Oh, these are terrible calls.
You're going to do it. You do it all game long.
I don't care who you're pulling for. These touch fouls and these little tiny bumps are awful. You know, boy. I'm having a hard time keeping my objectivity about these officials. But, you know, you let them, as you said, your point, and I won't beat this to death. You let them play ball in the first half, and then when it gets so crucial to watch this. Now watch this on the replay. You'll see that was the foul. And there was no foul. There really wasn't. Oh, well. They've been rather consistent in the second half about their inconsistency. Is that okay to say?
Hey, you got a good point. Okay, Tim, we got to be thinking player of the game.
Well, let's take a look at some of the statistics. Not that is the only reason you pick a player of the game, but Baycoat for his team now with had 10 at halftime and has added 17 more. So he's got 27 for the night, and certainly his points have gotten the team back into it. Carlin Brown on the other side was a very instrumental player in keeping the Crabbers in the game with his free throw shooting in the first half. Tony Rutland has really done a great job. I think Rutland would be my pick for Bruins, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to hold off until this one
I got no problem with that.
is in the history books, because this one's still very much up for grabs.
It is.
Crabbers leading by 6.
Once again, going to the line for the Crabbers.
Well, he's right. At the free throw line is Carlin Brown. And Brown misses the free throw, so he is the only Crabber that has been less than perfect at the free throw line. Bruins have time. Nice move by Rodney Bell. He gets his first points, and the Bruins quickly call a timeout.
And Tim, that is a move that you see from a guy that plays inside, and Rodney Bell plays point guard, and he makes a nice baseline move. I don't know if Slow-Mo's got that on camera or not, but that was a nice move by young Rodney Bell, who has missed a couple of games because of sickness. He had strep throat last time they played and didn't even suit out.
We were talking about how these two teams have done against each other. As I mentioned earlier, Iverson had 39 points in the first win against Hampton, then had 23. Rutland was a little more inconsistent. He had 9 the first game and then 35 the second. Here you see the nice move by Bell to get open and make the easy basket. Bell had 15 points in the first victory against Hampton and only 2 in the second game. Brian Bean, 9 and 15. Tim Johnson pretty consistent with 11 and 7. Damon Baycoat was real consistent against Bruins. He scored 26 and 29 respectively. And Mario Gatling 19 and 23 against the Bruins. So your cream comes to the top, as they say. Woodard, they spot the open man underneath, and that is number 32, Taban Garrett, back in the ball game. He is in for the Mario Gatling, who fouled out. Iverson got the basket, 66-62, and then the foul is called. Bruins started to call a timeout, and I think they have no timeouts remaining, or if they have, they may have one left, and of course, they can't call a timeout. They have one left, right? They can call one more.
Yeah,
that's it, but you want to save that one if you have to for the last seconds.
You look at it, the Bruins are down by 4, Tim. He makes these 2, they're down by 6. There's still only 2 possessions. The Bruins can hit that three-pointer, and you know that the Crabbers are going to be right on them. Shooting those three-pointers, they're not going to let them get an easy shot.
Baycoat hands the free throw. He is perfect. 2 for 2 in the first half and adds 6 more here in the second. Big free throws. The free throws truly have been the difference in this ballgame. Allen Iverson to Bell. Bell will fire up a 3. It doesn't go. Rutland very alertly gets outside. Tries the 3 and then can't get it to go, and then a foul in the backcourt by Rodney Bell with 41 seconds remaining. And we do invite you to stay tuned at the conclusion of the ball game, because we will have some post-game interviews. And our director, I'll let you know, Mr. Bowers, that Bob has got your instructions, and he does have his wireless mic on, so Bob will be making his way across the court. Right now, you don't know which side of the court you're going to go to, though, right?
I tell you, I really don't, Tim. We still haven't picked the game for the player, the game for the Crabbers. You want me to put it in my pocket?
No, just pull it away from your mouth a little bit. Brown misses again. I'm going to have to go with Baycoat for the Crabbers, and a blocking foul on Pringle.
I'm not going to say a word, Tim.
Didn't look like he had his position established, but the official right on the play called the block.
And right in front of us.
Yep. Get a chance to watch this and again, and we almost got the ball in our laps. Here you go. Pringle is there. Looked like he was there. Might have shuffled his feet a little bit, you know. Give the officials credit. They've got real keen eyesight when it comes to those calls.
Well, and they got a job that I wouldn't do.
Yep. Iverson has a job I wouldn't want either right now. He's got to hit some free throws. He's got the 1-and-1. Got to have the first, and he doesn't get it. The players, unlike before when there was 2 shots, kind of stood around, didn't realize it was a 1-and-1. And we got to tie up. The ball should go to the Crabbers on the possession arrow with 28 seconds. Bizarre play there. The players were looking for the second shot, and there was none coming because it was a 1-and-1.
That's right.
Crabbers have a man all alone. This is Garrett. He may be 2 alone, but he puts it in. That'd be my nightmare. I'd miss that basket. Crabbers by 8. Iverson from way downtown. Can't get it to drop. And then we've got a foul away from the ball. Crabbers will go down to the free throw line. They are celebrating what I would call a hard-fought victory at this point, but this isn't quite over yet. They do lead by 8, and it looks pretty bleak for the Bruins. So that 3-in-1-year victory, it's always tough.
A good team 2 times, let alone 3 times.
At the free throw line will be Jamel Gray. He'll have a 1-and-1. 11 seconds remaining. Hampton 70, Bethel 62. Gray misses the front end, and the clock starts with that missed shot. Rodney Bell's 3-point attempt will not go. Baycoat, and then a foul in the backcourt. With just 3 seconds remaining, the Crabbers will advance to the finals and the Eastern Regionals as they will play Kecoughtan Friday night at 8 p.m. here at Anderson Fieldhouse.
Well, I tell you, Tim, Hampton stayed in the game the first half because of the foul shots. The second half, they came out, controlled the tempo of the game, and that took Bethel out of their up and down. They went up tempo, and they did not play up tempo the second half.
Give Walter Brower and his coaching staff credit for making the appropriate adjustments and causing the Bruins to play their game. Baycoat missed the free throw, but it doesn't matter because the Crabbers have more than enough to win. So the Bethel Bruins will see their season end as they'll finish 15-8. And there will be another day for the sophomore phenomenons, Tony Rutland and Allen Iverson, and they'll be back next year with many others for the Bruins. And this will not be the last time Bruins will be heard from in the Peninsula District. Bob is making his way through a maze of players to get a chance to talk to some of the players. We're going to go with, I am at least, Bob, with Damon Baycoat for the Hampton Player of the Game and Tony Rutland for the award for the Bethel Bruins.
Tim, I got Coach Walter Brower here. Coach, first half, the fouls kept you in the game, but the second half, you come out, executed, and controlled the tempo.
All right, we executed on offense, and we wanted to punch the ball down inside because we felt this was our advantage. We didn't do this in previous games, and we felt that we could just punch it inside, that they couldn't stop it.
Well, you told me this earlier in the week, that if you would run your offense, you felt like you could beat the Bruins.
Right. Now, one of the things that we stressed on those timeouts, early timeouts, you're getting away from what we want to do. Punch the ball inside, run the offense, and we get it down in the paint.
Well, you were down 13 points, but then they were only down 4 at the end of the half. Did not miss a foul shot that first half.
Well, I'm glad to see that because we hadn't been shooting as well on the foul line as I would like. But, the guys they came out tonight, and they played. From the middle of the first quarter on, they played blood and guts basketball.
Well, they did what you want them to do, and that makes a difference, Coach.
That's right. They did, and we stressed that over and over and over and over again. Execute offensively and give some help on defense with Rutland and Iverson.
Well, I tell you, congratulations. A great game. If you're a fan, you got to see a great game. One team had to lose, you know, but there's no losers out of two good teams out here. One gets to advance. Congratulations to the Hampton Crabbers.
Right. You know what? I'm proud to see 3 Hampton teams in the semifinals and 2 in the finals. That speaks a whole lot for basketball in Hampton. It used to be all Newport News, not anymore.
Well, we got good coaches, good athletes. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Good enough. We'll see you in the regionals. All right, let's go over to you, Tim.
All right, Bob, thank you. And I echo your congratulations to Walter Brower as he continues to have great success as the head coach of the Hampton Crabbers. Of course, they've got a tough task against them Friday night as they will tangle with the Kickintan Warriors, a team that they have not beaten this year. And the Kickintan Warriors will be a formidable foe. Free throws were the difference. The Crabbers hit 20 of 24, while the Bruins 11 of 17. That 9 points
Congratulations.
was one more than the difference. And we've got Damon Baycoat. Go ahead, Bob.
Tim, I got Damon Baycoat. Damon, you guys, after about halfway through that first quarter, got it together, made your foul shots, came out second half, did great.
Yeah, we started running on offense and getting more in the sync. The first quarter, I think we came out, you know, the little pre-game jitters, since this game so much was riding on this game, but we came out and we started running, everybody settled down, and we got what we had to get done.
Well, I tell you, it was a good game from both senses. Both teams are great. Good to see, as Coach Brower said, 3 Hampton teams in the semis and the finals. You guys get to go to the regionals again. I know when you go, you hate to miss, but you come out and played a great game tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're our player of the game, and I'll have a shirt for you and a plaque, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the regionals.
Okay.
Good enough. Thank you, Damon.
Look forward to being there. All right, no
okay. Taylor, let's go back over to you.
All right, a very happy and rightly so Damon Baycoat, who had a really strong game tonight. 27 points unofficially for Baycoat. And he had 10 at halftime, 17 big points in the second half as the Hampton Crabbers, after trailing by 13 points in the first quarter and 12 at the quarter break, come back and win the ball game by 8, 70-62 over a very game Bethel High School team. And as I said before, Iverson, Rutland, and others will be back next year and for 2 more years after that. So look out, Bethel opponents, you're going to have your hands full. Friday night.
And excuse me, before I don't want to interrupt you, but Mr. Baycoat will be back next year too.
Baycoat and others too, yes. But the Hampton Crabbers have more season to play as they will advance to the finals Friday night, 8 o'clock, Anderson Fieldhouse against the Kickintan Warriors. That game is preceded by the Phoebus girls team against the Menchville Monarchs girls team at 6:15 at Anderson Fieldhouse. Bring the family out. Have a great family evening. You'll enjoy it. We're quite sure of that.
Most certainly.
The final score again, the Hampton Crabbers 70, the Bethel Bruins 62. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole and the entire crew. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.